This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Minns.
He was escorted into the studio by Eva, the 20-something producer assigned to the experimental, documentary-style TV production commissioned by the public broadcaster. The room was all white, bright white, freshly painted, with studio lights positioned above and to the side. It was hot, hotter than he had anticipated. He feared he would sweat through the entire session. There was a chair, an office-style recliner, positioned directly in front of a camera. Aside from Eva, the camera operator was the only other person present. "Put this on your lapel, please, and run the cable down the inside of your shirt, if you wouldn't mind," she asked, handing him a lapel mic. He did as instructed. He flushed red as a section of his oversized stomach wriggled its way out of his untucked shirt, while he raised his arms to adjust the mic. He was sure she had seen his untanned, overly hairy gut. She gave no indication either way. "Okay, take a seat," she said, gesturing toward the empty chair. He patted down the creases in his jeans as he sat and faced the camera. The lights overhead radiated an instant heat. "Will they be on the whole time?" he asked, pointing upward. "I'm afraid so," Eva said. "We have another interview after yours, and there's a consistency to the framing we try to maintain across sessions." Her tone was apologetic, but the way she carried herself made it clear this was a facade. She had a job to do, and he was just another complaining subject. There was nothing special about his presence in the studio that day. The light above was blinding, but he continued to stare straight ahead at the reflective glass of the camera. He could see himself and was focused on maintaining a sense of control. He heard a chair being dragged, and an interaction between Eva and the operator suggested she was moving into an interview position. She addressed him again. "Okay, so David, as you know, this show is called You Cannot Ask Me That." "Yes, I'm aware," he replied, both of them chuckling at the obviousness. "Well, regardless, I didn't get into this business to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. I know you signed the waiver for appearances, but I like to make absolutely sure that you're aware of what we'll be doing today, how we conduct interviews, and your rights in the process, as well as our right to terminate the interview early if it doesn't meet the guidelines we need for a successful show. Does that make sense?" He thought about it for a moment. Though it didn't really make sense to him, he nodded anyway. "Okay, great. So, as you know from our phone conversation, the topic of your interview is the secrets we keep. For example, after your session, we have a pretty famous TV personality from back in the day who harbored a secret for many years." "Who is it?" he asked. "I'm currently not at liberty to say. It's subject to the program going to air." He nodded. "And we hold the same confidentiality toward your interview, David, just so you're aware. We'll share nothing until the program goes to air if it does. Does that make sense?" He figured she often ended her sentences with that question. "Okay, so it wasn't quite clear to me what you did for a living," she said. "Well, I'm retired," he replied. "Yeah, but what did you do?" "I worked in intelligence." Despite the bright light, he saw her face brighten. "That makes sense. I can understand why Noelle referred you now," she said, jotting something down on her clipboard. "So you were a spy?" "Not exactly. I worked in reconnaissance, yes, but mostly in technology. You see, spyfare, as we call it, has changed significantly over the years." She tapped her camera operator on the shoulder. "Are you rolling?" The government used to send agents into the field for covert operations. Now, most of it's done through hacking cameras on phones, CCTV, laptops, iPads, dashcams. We can record and retain almost any conversation anywhere in the world without sending someone undercover. She was scribbling notes frantically. "Should I keep going?" he asked. "Yes," she said a bit too enthusiastically before collecting herself. "Yes, David, please go on." He cleared his throat. "So, I was a technology analyst. I started out placing cameras and other systems around the globe. But because I was also a drone pilot, I was responsible for training our other assets in drone flight, so we could gain covert access to people in remote locations where phones and wired devices couldn't capture them. The real beauty of drones is we can weaponize them." She stopped writing and looked up. "You killed people using drones?" "Many," he said. "Okay, I think we need to stop right there," Eva said, standing up from her seat. Something the matter? David asked. It's not you, David. I just need to run something past the executive producer. Would you mind waiting here while I make a quick call? She asked, pulling her phone from her jacket pocket. Doesn't bother me, he said. She walked to the stage doors and hurried into the quiet lobby of the broadcaster. Sinclair answered after the fourth ring. What's up? I'm interviewing for episode 3, and someone just admitted to murder, she said. Get them off, he replied. It's worse. They worked for the government. Which government? They haven't said yet. Silence. We'll never make it to air. Get him off. Thank him for his time. Give him a cab charge and get him out of the building. Delete the footage. The line went dead. She returned to the studio and saw David adjusting his shirt under the hot key lights. Okay, David, sorry about the interruption. We hit a small snag. We have some editorial guidelines that prevent us from airing certain content. Is there a problem with what I said? He asked. No, not at all. Turns out we're all good to go, she said. Now, where were we? Drones, he said. Ah, yes, go on. So we would target hard-to-catch folks with these micro-drones, mosquito-sized. We also used large cohorts over agricultural zones in enemy territories, carrying concentrated acids. We'd burn the solution in the atmosphere so it would particularize into cloud coverage and rain down acid on crops. That was always a fun operation. Very dangerous, though. Clouds can be unpredictable and drift to neighboring farms, even across borders, especially in Europe. And there was always debate about how much condensed acid to use. A little goes a long way, you see. She squinted, trying to gauge whether she'd heard him right. Are you telling me you sent acid into the clouds to destroy crops? She asked. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, he replied. She raised a finger. One moment, please, David. She raced back to the reception lobby and quick-dialed Noel, her co-producer. Noel, it's Eva. I'm with David, the analyst who replied to our call-out. Who? Noel asked. The analyst. The spy? You remember? No. Well, he's here now saying he worked for the government, sending drones filled with condensed acid to destroy crops, killing people with microdrones. He's telling me all this on camera. Oh, Noel said, suddenly remembering. He's a flake. Don't interview him. Then why did you recommend him for the show? She snapped. I said don't have him on the show, he shouted. The guy is nuts. You can't verify a single thing he says. She yanked the phone from her ear and frantically scrolled through her inbox for his email. Subject, David Elgin Mather's possible head case. Do not have on the show. Don't you read my emails? Noel asked. I thought I did. I guess I don't, she said, face flushing red. She now had a choice. Ask this unstable man to leave or continue the interview and fake an editorial call. She had enough time left in the day to pull off the illusion. Anything to avoid confrontation. She chose the latter. She re-entered the studio. Something the matter? David asked. Nothing. That will be the final interruption. I'm sorry, Mr. Elgin Mathers, she said, returning to her seat across from him and beginning the interview formally. Please state your name for the camera.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.